West Bloomfield's Fire Marshal Byron Turnquist with us once again on the Oakland County Megacast. Byron, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. How are you? How's the team over at the fire department?
Good. We're hanging in there. Right now, everybody's healthy and working hard.
Well, that's good to hear. As always, we appreciate the work that the fire department has continued to be doing during the course of the pandemic and what they do in normal times as well. So, Byron, we're in the thick of summer, in the dog days of summer. We're approaching another change in season, and with that brings a lot of common hazards. Even now, as we're this late into the summer, that can cause fires in the home and it can be potentially deadly. What are some of those common issues that you're seeing in West Bloomfield and that other fire departments see during this time of year, and what are maybe some ways people can prevent them?
One of the most common fires that we have here in West Bloomfield and the Tri-City area is a kitchen fire, where we have people that get a little careless while they're cooking, get distracted either on their device, on their phone, a conversation outside with a neighbor, and where they think they're only gone for a minute, all of a sudden they're gone for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and they've left something cooking unattended on the stove, and it leads to a problem, and we end up with a kitchen fire. We also it's kind of unique. We've seen a lot of spontaneous combustion fires. While homeowners are working hard to keep their homes beautiful and their outdoor furniture or piece of furniture inside, then they use a specific type of stain. And as that stain dries, if the rags that they use aren't disposed of properly, they can self-heat during that drying process and start a fire.
So, a lot of people are spending so much more time at home, which obviously then means they're using their stove more, their refrigerator more, their dishwasher more, their washer dryer a lot more. Is that sparking more electrical fires as well?
All the guys at the fire department are going to laugh when you say electrical fires, but uh,
It appears we're having some technical issues with Byron Turnquist. We'll stand by for just a moment. It looks like we got him back. Just a brief break in connection. Continue on, Byron.
okay, I'm not sure where you lost me, but um, we haven't seen any different type of fire in West Bloomfield. We see the careless cook or the cooking fire. We've seen the spontaneous combustion fires. We occasionally see a fire caused by misusing something, and just a straight accident. We just came out of fireworks season. We had 3 fires that were caused by fireworks. We had a dumpster fire and a couple fires that were really caused by the bad disposal. The fireworks were still smoldering and they were placed in the trash cans, which led to some small fires. Ronnie mentioned it early on. We do see a strange amount of fires caused in the dryer, and it's really not an electrical problem in the dryer or a malfunction of the dryer. It's poor maintenance. Uh, Homeowners, everybody needs to remember that how important it is to clean that lint trap, and at least once a year, disconnect the hose that leads to the outside of the house and make sure you get all the lint out of there. There are some companies that'll come do that for you, but it's a pretty easy job just to disconnect that, make sure all the lint is out of that the vent pipe, and that you're getting good ventilation. While you're drying your clothes, if it used to take you an hour to dry a load of towels, and now it takes you an hour and a half or 2 hours for that same size load of laundry to dry, there's something wrong, and most likely it's the vent is obstructed and you're not getting good airflow.
So we had the tragedy, I believe it was last year, over in the Points of the two brothers that were home alone. I believe they were making toast. A fire started, and sadly, both of the brothers did die in that fire. As we head back to school, and some parents are going to have their kids home alone, even if they are teenagers, how important is it for them to have a fire plan?
It's extremely important. The first thing you need to do with your kids is make sure that that as much as you can, make sure that they're not cooking while an adult isn't around. Um, if they have to cook and prepare their breakfast or a meal before they go to school, some things you just have to do. Another very important thing is to have working smoke alarms throughout your house. Smoke alarms should be installed on every floor of your residence. They should be installed in every bedroom, and they should also be installed outside of the sleeping area. And working smoke alarms give you that early notification that there is a problem and something might be wrong. So if somebody does get distracted and that smoke alarm activates, it'll get your attention and allow people to get out, get away, call 911, and be safe. Um, the other thing, and you mentioned that, is having your exit plan. And everybody thinks that there's absolutely no problem getting out of your house. You live there, you know 2 ways out of every room. There's no problem, and I don't need to practice that. And that is so far from the truth, because fires are never planned, and fires always happen at the most inopportune time. They'll happen in the middle of the night when it's dark and it's hard to see. And then the other thing that happens is, in a fire, there's lots of thick black smoke that does 2 things. It obstructs your vision, and 2, it depletes the oxygen that's in the home. And while you're not getting the amount of oxygen that you need for your brain to function properly, you easily get disoriented and confused in your own home. Even if you've lived in that house for 30 years, you can get lost in your own home.
Byron Turnquist with us. He is the fire marshal with the West Bloomfield Fire Department, with us on the Oakland County Megacast. So you mentioned some of the elements of having a fire safety plan. Knowing 2 ways out of every room is one of the key components of that. For families that are enacting these plans with multiple people, several people maybe, in the home, what steps should they be taking to form those plans, and then make sure that everybody's not only aware of what the plans are, but are comfortable and are capable of working through those plans safely should there be an emergency?
Yeah, so a real simple family project to do, especially while everybody's spending so much time at home and together, is to sit down at the table with a large piece of paper and just draw a rough floor plan of your house that shows everybody's bedroom and all the main rooms throughout the home. And that floor plan should also show the locations of windows and doors, and discuss with all the family members the different options and the different ways that you could escape your house. And then when everybody's comfortable with that, you need to make sure that you pick a meeting place outside of the home, whether it's the big rock in the front yard or it's your neighbor's porch. We tend to shy away from having people meet at the mailbox, because when our fire trucks pull up, we're racing up right in front of the house, and we want to keep people out of the roadways to keep everybody safe. But pick that meeting place, and then when everything's decided and planned and talked over, actually have some fire drills at different times of the days, and have fun with it, and practice, because practice always makes perfect.
So I know there's been a push recently, or probably over the past couple years, in which I've seen is trying to educate parents to close the bedroom doors when you go to bed at night. Why is that important?
Closing your bedroom door keeps the smoke and the hot gases out. If there is a fire in your home, that's what is usually causes the fatality. It's not the fire itself, it's the smoke and the superheated gases. And by having your bedroom door closed, that buys you a lot of time to hear the smoke alarm, to wake up, get yourself oriented, and figure out a way out of the house. One thing we always teach kids when they come through for their fire safety tours is to always test that door before they open it. So if your smoke alarm goes off, you've got your bedroom door closed, before you open that door, you want to check it, make sure it's hot, not hot. You always want to use the back of your hand, not the front of your hand. The back of your hand is always more sensitive. And if that door is hot, keep it closed. Go to a window, use your cell phone, call 911. Let us know where you're at, and when firefighters arrive on the scene, we'll be able to locate you that much quicker. Another very important part in all of this planning is, once you get out of the house, stay out of the house. You never go back in. You never go back in for a pet. It's very hard, but you don't go back in for a child or another family member. We need you guys we need people to stay outside. Let us know where their child's bedroom is or where their parent's bedroom is. And when we arrive on scene, we've got the tools that will help us enable that rescue, and we can go right there and work on getting them out of the house.
Byron, just a few more minutes with you. As the summer continues on, people are, whether they should be or not be, having some gatherings at their home, friends and family. Maybe they're doing a grad party. That can also create some hazards in escape plans or other fire or capacity hazards and fire hazards as well. What should people be aware of if they are having these gatherings, whether they should or not, to keep themselves, their friends, their family, and so on, or those that are gathered with them, safe?
Well, one thing with outdoor gatherings or family parties, usually that includes a barbecue. When you're using the barbecue, the same principles follow the cooking as cooking inside your kitchen. Never leave that unattended. Stay with it all the time that the barbecue is lit. You want to make sure that the barbecue is kept away from the house and combustibles. You want to keep it away, even if your house has a brick siding. A lot of homes have wood trim around windows and other combustibles that are part of that structure that where a fire could spread and damage your house. And when you're using a grill outside, it's always a great idea to have a fire extinguisher. Have that fire extinguisher outside ready to go just in case. And then even inside your house, you need to have fire extinguishers that are easily accessible throughout. Time after time, we'll see where somebody went to use their extinguisher and it took them way too long to get to it as the fire was growing. Because over the years, the extinguisher that was originally left in the front of the cabinet in the kitchen has been pushed further and further back, covered by cleaning materials, other kitchen items, and they can't find it in that time of need.
Byron, just another minute with us. Anything else that you believe is important for our audience to know, for the people of West Bloomfield and surrounding areas to know to keep themselves and their families safe?
Most important is to test your smoke alarms. They really are that frontline defense to alert you of a problem within your house. Again, they should be tested every month. When you do a test, you can practice your family escape plan. If you have smoke alarms that are in your home and they're older than 10 years old, they should be replaced. You should change the batteries every 10 years. And the newer smoke alarms, you should change the batteries every 6 months. The newer smoke alarms have the built-in batteries that are supposed to last 10 years. So when that detector expires, it's just time to replace it.
Well, Byron, we appreciate your time. We appreciate having you on with us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.